Hi there, and welcome to Indigo Park!
Hi creatures, Pearl here, and welcome to a normal-ish video of mine where I am making human versions of already existing characters, and I absolutely love this game series that is coming out. I have watched Jay from the Cub Scouts play the game, and I absolutely fell in love with Indigo Park.
Hi there, and welcome to Indigo Park! The world's most innovative and engaging family fun experience!
I know there are other creators who have played the game before, but Jay was the first one that I personally saw, and his reactions, in my opinion, are quite funny. So after watching his playthrough of it and instantly getting hooked, I decided to very obviously draw some of them, but as humans. I first started with Rambly Raccoon, as he is the one that we first technically meet of the animatronics. I don't know what they're called, like the mascots, I guess. I wanted to try to keep his normal body shape that he has as a very cute plush looking raccoon, which was the easy part for me because trying to figure out what to do for his clothing was a little bit harder to figure out. But then I remembered in one of the scenes that you are on a train and he has a little train conductor hat on, so I decided to, well, make him a train conductor, as that was really the only outfit I could think of. As I was sketching everything out, I was trying to figure out how I wanted his uniform to look, as there are multiple different types online, and most of them either were the train conductor themselves, if not the person who usually goes down for the tickets, like the person in Polar Express, and I cannot for the life of me remember what they are called. Recently, I've been trying to do what some people who make human versions of the My Little Pony characters with normal skin tones. I tried that same method, and I ended up having to just pick out my own anyway in the end, as I am trying to learn how to do different types of skin tones that aren't like mine, which is very, very, very pale, if it is not obvious enough just by how I draw my mascot, since she is literally meant to represent me. I've been doing colored sketches lately just so I can also figure out the placement of where I want things to go, and it has been very, very helpful for me when I am in the process of planning something, like with how I was trying to figure out the skin tones, as I personally felt like he would have some form of vitiligo because of the different colors around his eyes and on his stomach. It was more of a feeling type of thing and not a, I guess I'll just do this. For his clothing, I literally just used his own fur color and just darkened it a little bit here and there, so it's still in the colors that he has. I color picked for the eyes, so those would stay the same, and his ascot, I believe it's called, but I'm not sure. If someone does know, please correct me in the comments, because I don't know for sure what it is, unless you want to say it's a bandana. I try to keep the lighting very basic since it's a run-down amusement park, but at the same time have it to where it's detailed enough that I could try to render it and it still makes sense. I am still trying to learn how to render. It is going okay-ish, I believe, but it was very fun to try to figure it out anyway for Rambly Raccoon. Admittedly, I don't have much else to talk about for Rambly, since we only know chapter 1, and I don't really want to spoil anything because it is so new, and I just personally really like it. I find him adorable. I, however, will say that he is supposedly meant to be a adaptable AI, I assume, but more information will come out as the game progresses, and I absolutely cannot wait for the rest of the game to come out, since it is in chapters like Poppy Playtime was. Anyway, here's the finished drawing of Rambly Raccoon, and in the intro of the video, I made a chibi version of him. Now on to the second character that you meet in Indigo Park, Molly Macaw. Since Molly is meant to be a bird and a pilot, I decided to lean into that, as well, her outfit was a lot easier to do since she technically is wearing clothing, so it made this challenge a lot easier for me to do because of her already technically wearing clothing. All I had to do was just make her more human-like. I tried to give her a kind of go-getter type of stance, but I didn't really know how to do that in all honesty, since in the game you don't really see her personality because of how run down the place is, which kind of forced my hand in how I had to do the pose. So I ended up following what the information for her has, just so I could try to convey her personality, but I know for obvious reasons all, if not the majority of them, are going to come off as sweet and kind, since they are meant to work with children. After I sketch out the clothing, I was trying to figure out what to do for her hair, so I decided to do something like her wings, but as two weird pigtails, because why not? Basically in the same place that a normal low ponytail would go, but it's split in two to represent her two wings. I felt like having her wink would fit with her personality that you see in the ride that you technically meet her in, but it's a recording and cardboard cutout of her mostly. So that is where I got most of the vibe for her and her voice. I also decided to keep her eyelashes for her eyes, since I already do that anyway with character designing, of giving characters eyelashes here and there that are different, so I can try to make them look like different people, as almost every artist is going through or has gone through same face syndrome. Unlike with Rambly, I did just immediately jump into the outline stage, since it was a lot easier to get her color palette for her, since she already had clothing that I could use. After outlining the rest of her body, I did outline her eyes, and I have kind of switched how I draw them to give them a little bit more character and seem less dead, I guess. I don't know what the correct words would be, as I don't feel like there was much emotion in how I drew eyes in the past, but now I feel like there is some emotion being shown through now. It isn't in this drawing, but I have gone back to using a clipping mask to fill in the smaller parts of the character because of the line art, so it would be properly filled instead of just having the old, usually related to a beginner, would have for the paint bucket tool, and you would see in the corners that it wasn't filled in correctly. I used to do that, so obviously no hate. Everyone was once a beginner at something. All that we do is just we learn and grow as we get older and practice more with what we want to do if it is not really technically required for life. I don't want to spoil too much with Molly Macaw, since there is not a lot to tell that isn't a spoiler, but I did have a lot of fun drawing her. It was interesting to do her hair, because I don't think I've done a 3-shade ombre before. I know I've done 2, as I use that for my own mascot, but I don't think I've ever done 3 before. So it was very interesting, especially with using blue, yellow, and green of such vibrant colors for it, because I probably would not put those 3 specific shades together, but it does work out very well and it does look really pretty. Probably the easiest one out of all 3 drawings that are in this video. Anyway, that is the finished drawing of Molly Macaw. Real quick before we get to the last drawing of today's video, I would like to say that my commissions, like in the last video, are still open. I have 3 more slots open currently, and if you would like to see more videos or possibly have a commission in a video, please like and subscribe, maybe even send me an email if you have any video ideas, or you can DM me on Discord if you want a commission. And for the final drawing, instead of doing another Indigo Park mascot, I decided to do the reverse with my own mascot. I am not the best at drawing furries, so this is not that good. I did end up having to look up a base just so I can do the snout, but otherwise I am kind of-ish proud with how she ended up looking. For her claw hand, I kind of wish I leaned into that a little bit more instead of just giving her a normal looking hand that was meant to represent her paw, so that I will probably change if I ever redraw her. I mainly did try to draw her as herself, besides a few of the changes like with the hands, as those are core elements of her that I wanted to keep. The further along I got, I realized that I did want to try and figure out where exactly or what her role would be if, per se, she was in Indigo Park, like how so many people did for a Five Nights at Freddy's character, specifically in Security Breach. So I tried to do it similar to that. Since there aren't many locations that we know of so far, I do feel like she would be as a second assistant to Rambly Raccoon, mainly because her personality is meant to be like mine, which is supposedly orange cat energy, as some of my friends have described. So since I believe that she would be like a virtual assistant, the same as Rambly Raccoon, I think she would be more of a backup assistant, so she'd be in the park over being at the entrance like him, so she knows what's happening and either helps or is as mentally unstable as the others that have been stuck in the park for the amount of time that they have been. Because the muzzle or snout was giving me so much trouble, I did end up kind of tracing someone's furry base just to figure it out, and then I redrew over it and used one of Ibis Paint's tools in order to try and get the angle correct. Since in my lore that she is meant to be part cat, I decided to lean into that a lot and made her super fluffy, because fluffy cats are some of the best in my opinion. I do kind of wish I added a bit more snake motif ideas into this version of her, but I really didn't know what to do because scaly and furry kind of clashes if you don't know how to do it. After this very fast speed up version of the line art, because it was admittedly taking a while because I did stop here and there in the actual process of making it, so sometimes the speed paint just sits still for a little too long. I wanted to try something different for the face, since I have been seeing random little art hacks and stuff that I wanted to try out. In the end, I don't think I ended up keeping it because it didn't look right with the character being very fluffy. Since normally her paw feet have purple and gray on the bottom, I decided to give her non-clawed hand the gray as well, since all of her is meant to be purple and fluffy and just overall cute and cuddly. I don't know if I achieved that. I don't think I did, because the face with the muzzle did not end up working out in the way I wanted it to. After the rendering process, which was not that hard since I have been getting a little bit better, was very fast to do, and I had a lot of fun with it. I did, however, end up having to fix some of the coloring and rendering here and there because I realized it was very not right, so I had to fix all of that, including with the eyes. And finally, here is the finished piece of If My Mascot Was in Indigo Park. Finally, here is all 3 Rambly Raccoon, Mullen Macaw, and Pearl Nephilim. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and once again, if you would like to see more of my content, please make sure to like and subscribe. Hope to see you next time, creatures.